Fill out the form, worldviewgold.com.
You are watching Worldview 2, built on the 35 years of Worldview books, documentaries, research, high-profile interviews, and the radio and television broadcasts of Brannon Howse.
Massive human trafficking. It's a record 288 people arrested.
They're not reporting the real numbers.
The numbers are segmented and they are fictitious.
I started my career in 1997 in the United States Border Patrol. It was one of the most violent times in recent Border Patrol history. I made my bones and my reputation on that border. I believe what is happening on the border today is intentional.
We have people in the United States of America that breed children in order to sell them.
Our own government is facilitating the absolute destruction of the American immigration system, and I can prove it point by point. I'm unafraid to speak the truth. This is just data-driven and experience-driven.
The forgotten men and women of our country will be forgotten no longer. January 20th, 2017 will be remembered as the day the people became the rulers of this nation again.
Taking your best shots, you fail. After decades of abuse and corruption, we're no longer for sale. And we'll never go back again.
Has never seen before.
Welcome to Truth with J.J. Carrell. I saw that video yesterday when I began to put together this show, and I thought, you know what? It's Friday. I think this is a great way to start our episode. And there was one line in that song that really stuck out to me, and it was, "We are never going back." And I believe that. Now, maybe generations ahead, because we go in these looping patterns of, strong. We've all heard this: tough times, strong men deliver good times. Then we have weak men, and then we have horrible times, and then we go around and round and round. Will that happen? I'm sure. But right now, in my lifetime, in my son's lifetime, and most likely my son's children's lifetime, I don't think we're going back. I think, and I believe strongly, and I'm watching this happen. I'm watching it happen with my son's generation. I'm watching it with the Gen Zers. They've had it. They're looking up to the second, third generation above them, and they're saying they are unhappy. They are miserable. They are mutilated in their bodies with tattoos, piercings, transgenderism, body mutilation, multiple partners, STDs, divorces. Everyone's unhappy. Honestly, think about what I'm just saying. Think about you're a 14, 15-year-old, And you maybe have some brothers and sisters that are, 20, 24, they're getting married, having kids. You and your brothers and sisters are looking up at that other generation ahead of you and the one before them, and you see misery. You see people that are grossly unhappy, just grossly unhappy. And you're looking there, and instinctively you say to yourself, I don't want any part of that. And then as you begin to become more mature and have more life experiences, you begin to notice patterns in those people, decisions that they have made that led to this misery they're in, and you want no part of it. So we are beginning to see that at the same time that social media is becoming more free. X more than anything has allowed this town hall to happen. So there is the Democrats, the elites, the rhinos, they do not have a stranglehold on the narrative anymore. They have no control over the narrative. Once they push a narrative, no matter how strong it is, it gets picked apart like buzzards come in. These investigative journalists in the podcast world and the X accounts, they come in and they tear it apart. The Laura Loomers, they just destroy it. And everyone's like, okay, that's another lie. All right, that's another lie. And the Democrats are losing their mind because they can't control it. The elites can't control it. This is America First. America First is beginning to explode. Why? Because the younger generation that is becoming enlightened, they're becoming aware of how bad things are. Because once you leave college, as all this generation is leaving college, they're becoming in the workforce. Number one, their wages are depressed. Number two, the dollar is worthless. Number three, they can't buy a house. So how are they going to get married and have a child? So they're looking at a generation or generations that were America last. And they're looking at that and they're saying, wait a minute. I have to work. My wife has to work. Then I have to get a side hustle to even begin to get, maybe if I'm fortunate, a starter home. And even then, the margins are so tight. If I get sick or my wife gets sick, we need new tires or brakes in our car, then we're in the red. And yet you just sent $3 billion to Israel? You sent $50 billion more to Ukraine. Now you're over $300 billion. You just spent $8-9 trillion in the Middle East, and my car needs to be realigned because I hit a pothole the size of like a meteor hit the road. And my politicians are saying we don't have enough money, but you just sent billions of dollars monthly. You're still sending tens of millions of dollars to the Taliban still to this day. America First makes sense. America Last makes no sense. It's illogical. So I have great hope, and I'm not a man that has a lot of hope. I'll be very honest with you. I see things very clearly, present, moving forward. However, my son's generation and the generation right above him are going to become the greatest Americans and to create the greatest America that our nation has ever seen, the greatest version. I can hear it when I drive my son around with his friends or when I'm coaching his sports and I listen to their side conversations. Yeah, some conversations are, of course, as teenage boys, are off the rails. But a significant percentage of the time is talking about politics in the world, something I never did. And I'm listening to them. Do they have the full picture? No, because they're young. But do they have a strong grasp? Hell yeah, they do. And intuitively, they realize everything that they have been told is a lie. It's amazing to see them have the epiphany, that the awakening that I had when I was maybe in college or coming out of college, they're having when they're in middle school. That's going to be a profound impact. The Democrats, they don't know this, to the degree that we know it, but they're a dead party. They're dying. They're dead man walking. This is America first. It's never going back. Not for generations. It's not going back. You're going to begin to hear the screams for all foreign aid to be stopped. All. You're going to begin to hear the screams of I want no immigration. I want the border shut. I don't want illegal or legal. I want it closed down. You're going to hear it. You're going to hear the cries for isolationism. You're going to hear the cries of I don't want $1, one single American dollar leaving this country. You're going to hear it. And you are going to have an America first juggernaut after President Trump. Maybe it's not right after him. Maybe it's one or two after him, but there will become, within my son's generation, the generation above him, there will become a charismatic America first leader that will dominate society, and everyone will clamor to him because he is going to look these people in the eye and say, I'm not going to send a penny. I'm going to reinvest in you. Think of this as a business, because this is really all this is a business. Imagine you own a business and you're successful, but you're running a deficit, but you're so damn close to being profitable. And then once you're profitable, you know you're going to explode. Like you're going to dominate everything. But you're the CEO. And yet everyone underneath you keeps taking and stealing your money and putting it into other businesses, your competition. And your competition now begins to thrive. And you begin to go further and further and further in debt to the point that you are almost bankrupt. That's what America has done. America is beyond successful. If we took all these trillions of dollars, imagine this, in the last 20, 25 years, if we took the over $10, $20 trillion that we spent on foreign nations and reinvested in our business, our country, what do you think that we would look like today? Do you think that we would look like the way we do now? Try to wrap your brain around what 10, 15, 20 trillion dollars is. Think about it. We're a business. What happens if you continually, if you have a good product and you continue to reinvest into your company dominates. But if you take your money and you give it to your competitors, you will lose. That's what our government's done. Thus, the awakening of America first. I want to show you this video. This lady, you know the great thing about X, and I know some of these people, I've interviewed with them. Some of the people I know very well, some I don't know, and some okay, and some I don't even know at all. But what X is great about is somebody that I don't know about, I watch them, they make incredible sense. And somebody says, well, they said X, Y, and Z, last month, and it was horrible and racist. And I'm like, I don't care. I just, right now, what that person's saying makes 100% sense. 100% sense this person makes. So I'm going to listen to it. I like it. Do I agree with everything everyone says? No. Does everybody agree with everything I say? Of course not. But I'm sure there's people saying, hey, I can't stand that guy, JJ, but damn it, if he's not right on the money for what he's talking about, illegal immigration. Just watch this clip. This is powerful. I can't stand him. But right now, on this topic, he's amazing. And that's why I love X, is I can see and I can listen to people have a different take, something that I maybe not thought about, maybe the angle that I haven't even contemplated. Listen to this lady talk about America first. She explains it beautifully.
Doctrine, it seems, that will reset international relationships around the world. Hooray! Because what we've been doing hasn't exactly been working out. Trump showed us, J.D. Vance explained. Number one, clearly defined an American interest. What? An American interest, that would be awesome if our government actually started caring about the interests of Americans. Number two, negotiate aggressively to achieve that interest. Yes, negotiate before dropping bombs or, heaven forbid, sending in troops. I think the American people can get behind this. And number three, use overwhelming force if necessary to show that we ain't no joke. And we're not just there to enrich the war machine for decades. Imagine that.
Imagine a nation run for Americans. Unbelievable. Imagine having the audacity to sit down and say in front of your cabinet, what are the interests of America? What are the things that we need to do for America right now? How are we going to negotiate it? What is going to be, quote, don't forgive me for the pun, but what's my trump card? What's the card that I'm going to throw down to say, no, negotiating has ended. You're going to do this, or there's going to be massive consequences against you. And we're watching Donald Trump do this right now. Yep, there's going to be 100% tariffs on China. There's going to be 75% tariffs on UK and the European Union. And guess what? It's going to be in 30 days. Okay, get out of here. Day 20. Mr. President, the world leaders are all here. They want to come in the Oval Office. Okay, send in China. I'll make a deal with them first. What do you want, China? Yes, sir. We're willing to work with you. Okay, great. Go over there to Mr. Ludnick's office, and he knows the parameters. And if you're wasting our time, I'm making deals right now with everyone else. So next, European Union. Send those limp-wristed commie bastards in here. Come on. Bring me in all the beta males. Let them stand in front of me like little cowards. Donald Trump knows that he has all the power. We're the biggest kid in the neighborhood. We're twice the size of everyone else. And yet we've allowed the little kids to come and take all our stuff, and we sit in the corner crying. Donald Trump is reinvigorated, has brought confidence and determination back to America. We are now standing up on our stoop, and as these little kids are coming in, we're pummeling them. And now we're ruling the neighborhood and saying, I'm the greatest, I'm the strongest. I could beat all of you at once. Come on, bring it on. And they won't. We've been abused. We've been abused as a nation. Because our political leaders and our elites have allegiances to other nations, other corporations, other interests, and to the interests of themselves to enrich themselves over America. Has Donald Trump corrected it all? No. It's the size of corruption, the depth of the misery that these traitors, bastards have done to America is almost immeasurable. And it's going to take a long time, but we are on the right path. How are we on the right path? I want you to watch of all networks to watch. CNN. Listen to what CNN says about the job numbers since Donald Trump has taken office. This is incredible.
So over the last 4 months, 1.8 million native-born Americans got a job, and 1.5 million foreign-born workers lost a job. And we know that 1 million of those, or somewhere around them at least, were illegal migrants who exited the workforce and self-deported. This is a huge, huge win for the president. This is exactly what an America First economy should look like. It turns out the whole idea that there are jobs Americans won't do is a myth. There are jobs Americans won't do for that money. And having this illegal caste underwriting our entire economy, getting rid of that should be a progressive cause.
All right. She's absolutely right. She's amazing. And all of those stupid CNN panel will sit there and argue that that's not great for America. Well, what about the poor migrants and what? No. How about the poor Americans? How about the poor Americans that are struggling? How about we focus on them? How about all the foreigners go back to their foreign countries and let them deal with it? We're not sitting on a surplus, America. We're at the base level, the lowest level, we're at about $35 to $36 trillion in debt. When you layer over Social Security benefits, entitlements, we're at a $210 trillion. People can't even wrap their brain around what this government has done to us. And you are going to sit there and argue with me about illegal aliens, foreign nationals? That's like me. My house was falling apart. My wife and my son are sick. They're hungry. They're dirty and tired. And I'm out there cutting firewood for the neighbors. I'm up there patching their houses. I'm there giving them food and medicine while as my family dies. That's what's been happening to America. America has been dying for over 100 years. Dying. That's not hyperbole. We rebuilt Europe. We rebuilt the enemies of Japan and Germany. We rebuilt them. We went and spent $8 trillion in the Middle East to, quote, try to rebuild the goat herder cave dwellers places. Have you gone to St. Louis? Have you looked at Detroit? Have you gone to the Kensington neighborhood, the open air drunk zombie land in Philadelphia? Have you gone to LA? Have you been to Middle America? To Kansas City? Have you driven around Springfield, Ohio? Lakeland, Ohio? Have you gone to the border towns in Texas? Have you gone to San Antonio? Once beautiful San Antonio? Our nations have been destroyed. Our states have been destroyed in America. While we have propped up and spent trillions of dollars, spent trillions and billions of dollars pushed through NGOs where our political elites, family members, sit on the subcommittees of the NGOs that we're funneling money to, and then they pay their spouses millions of dollars. That's how they're enriching themselves. That's how they're doing it. They're laundering our money through NGOs and giving to foreign nations and then skimming off the top like they're the mafia and kicking the money back to other NGOs that family members are on. It is disgusting. It's right in front of our face. Why are these people not arrested? America First. What does also America First look like? Guess what? It looks like a net negative in immigration, maybe the first time in forever. Watch this. Again, CNN, of all places.
How about net migration into the United States? Get this. It's down. It's going to be down at least 60%. We may be dealing with, get this, negative net migration to the United States in 2025. That would be the first time there is negative net migration in this country in at least 50 years. We're talking about down from 2.8 million in 2024. So Donald Trump has always run on tariffs, and he's run on a hawkish line on immigration. And on both of those issues, we are seeing record high tariff rates for this century going all the way back, well back into the early part of the 20th century. And when it comes to immigration, net migration, we are seeing record low levels, way down from where we were during the Biden administration. We are potentially looking at negative net migration for the first time in at least 50 years.
Net migration, 60, 50 years. That's winning. That's America First. The Democrat Party is a party of foreign nationals, sexual perversion, social chaos, diversity is a strength, destroy, kill the population of white people. That's the party. They don't know this yet because they're functionally stupid. They're a dead party. They are a dead party. They don't understand this. We are about to, and Donald Trump, I'll talk about this later, Donald Trump, and I talked about it in the vault today. Go to the vault, go to worldviewtube.com/JJ. Go to my website, jjcarrell.com. I'm putting stuff out every single day, daily takes. And today was the census that They believe, Stephen Miller believes, who is somebody I respect, and when he says, I've been following him for a very, very long time, he just speaks factual truth. The Democrats have stolen about 60 seats in the House because of the census, bastardization of the census, counting illegal aliens. Once Donald Trump has said he is now ordered the census to not count illegal aliens. Go ahead, play us in court. Go ahead in court, Democrats. Go ahead in court and begin to put on the record, further on the record, that you want illegal aliens counted, because that's your constituency. And what Donald Trump has done is he now destroying the Democrat Party because they are reliant on the overwhelming numbers to inflate their districts. We're going to strip them away. We have been lied to. We're not a liberal country. We're a conservative country. We should have another 60 seats in the House that are just Republicans. But you know who else is a dying party? Donald Trump hears this, he will not like it. And he is adamantly opposed against the third party. But I'm telling you that the death of the Republican Party is not as far gone as the Democrats, but it is hurtling to death. I saw this post. Can you pull this post up for me, Thomas? It's an incredible post. And you know, a picture is worth 1,000 words. This picture is worth 1,000,000 words. This is a herd of red Republicans chasing this giant beast called a rhino off a cliff into the burning lava below. If we do not, as conservative Republicans, conservative Americans, do not destroy, push out to the pasture, kill, I don't care what the term is, until we remove all of these rhino bastards. And you know where we can start? We can start with all of the rhinos that are right now getting on an educational trip in Israel paid by AIPAC. We could start there. I think that's a good place to start. Or any nation we find our leaders in getting education from foreign governments. When I was in the United States Border Patrol, every 5 years I had to take I had to have a renewed background investigation. And in that investigation, I would have to say, I'd have to announce, declare in a form, and it's a long form, background check. Do you have any affiliations with outside governments? Do you are you sympathetic to other governments? Have you gone to other governments on their dime and received educational benefits from them? Has anyone from a foreign nation brought you over on a business trip and paid for it? Has any foreign organization tied to foreign governments paid for you? Have you received any benefits, anything outside of regulations? No, I haven't. Well, JJ, why did you not do that? Because it would be a nexus against my job, and therefore I would lose all my security clearances, and I would be put out the pasture before I can get my retirement. I would have blown everything. I would have shown that I am not have a strong allegiance to the United States of America. Wow. I'm a GS-14 in senior leadership in the United States Border Patrol. I can't have foreign nations. I can't have the state of Mexico or the nation of Mexico fly me down to Veracruz or to Tamaulipas for an educational jaunt, a junta, to learn about Mexico and the great thing about Mexico, and then how we need to have more integration with Mexico. No. I would be fired. So right now, as I speak, a contingent of Republicans and newly elected Republicans, and the Democrats are coming next week, are in Israel right now, paid for by AIPAC. So our federal government officials have taken a gift from a foreign lobbyist connected to a foreign government and flown over to that country on, quote, a vacation, sightseeing, and educational trip. Does that sound like America first to you? Does that sound like it's within regulations? Does that sound like something that is illegal? Of course it does. How does that align with America first? How does anything that I just said with Speaker Johnson, who gave this incredible in-your-face ex-post yesterday, talking about how he and all the newly elected Republicans are in AIPAC, literally said this, supported and paid for by AIPAC on an educational journey to Israel. They don't even hide it anymore, guys. They don't even try to couch it in anything except, yeah, I'm on vacation and the government of Israel paid for it. I don't care if it's Israel. I don't care if you're in Nigeria. I don't care if you're in the Sudan, Ecuador, Germany, the UK. I don't like any of it. I don't like any of it. That's not America first. That's America last. We have an allegiance problem. We have a sympathetic, anti-American belief that's coursing through the veins of our political representatives. I'm going to go into the next segment. I'm going to talk about who are the America last on the Democrat side. But please, please don't think that we don't have America last on the Republican side. I am a Republican because I have no other choice. Do I think there needs to be a third party? Yeah. With the caveat, if we do not circle our wagons and all of those red elephants don't begin to drive those blue rhinos off the edge to their death, their political death, if we do not eradicate this cancer from our body, the Republican Party, then yes, we must move on to something else. We must create something. I'll call it America first. Call it MAGA. I don't care. But the driving planks in this new party have to be America first, America second, America third, and everybody else is last. And if there was a party that rose up with a charismatic leader and said, that's where we're going, you would have Democrats, independents, and Republicans, and you will dominate. If you did everything just for America, you would own the nation and own the nation's future. The Republican Party and the Democrat Party would become irrelevant, literally irrelevant. The Republicans would get about 8%. The Democrats would get about 20% of the population, the popular vote. And then the America First MAGA Party would be in the 80s, the high 70s, low 80s, in everything. Because when we struggle together. And we're struggling now. When we're prosperous, we all prosper together. One way, I want you to take your power back. We hear Kim Yater comes on every week and with her powerful energy and hope. And she aligned me with one of my sponsors, Patriot Made, patriotsmade.com/JJ. You have to take your power back. And there are so many different ways how we have to take our power back. And the way we take our power back, one way, is we stop paying the people that hate us, the people that are poisoning us, the people that take our money and part of their profits and give it to No Kings rallies where they burn LA, give it to Planned Parenthood, give it to Black Lives Matter, give it to defund the police. Why would we do that? Well, we don't have to now. Go to patriotsmade.com patriotsmade.com/JJ, patriotsmade.com/JJ, and buy a product that's made in America by Americans that are green, like really, not AOC green, really green. You're going to have lotions, shampoos. Guess what they don't have? They don't have metals in them. Why do I want to put lotion on my skin that has metals in it? Why do I want to buy food and beef from a company that has hormones and mRNA in it? I don't. I'm not asking you, like I tell my wife, hey, we're going to go to patriotsmade.com. We're not going to purchase extra stuff. We're going to purchase stuff that we would normally purchase at the big box stores. We're going to get better product and cheaper, less expensive. Go to patriotsmade.com/JJ, patriotsmade.com/JJ. I have a guest coming in, and I know he's listening. If he could just give me about 8 minutes. Chris from Sat123, just give me about 8 minutes. I really want to stay on this topic before I go to Sat123, which is a powerful sponsor and one that I am so grateful that I am attached to, because I believe in being prepared. I believe in getting ready, because we are living in chaotic times. There is movement. There are seismic shifts in our country, in the world, but particularly in America. There's seismic shifts happening. And this is just shifts that I can see, that I know. Intuitively, I know that there are shifts going on that I'm not aware of yet, that have not come to the surface, but they are shifting under our feet. We can feel it. We can sense it. We just don't know what or who is making it happen. But when there is America first, just in everything in nature, there's something positive, there's something negative. That's just the way the world is built. And who are the negative forces? We have the negative forces are the anti-American people that have allegiance to other nations, that are our political representatives inside of our houses of Congress. I'm going to show you this clip. And this is a woman I can't stand. Personally, I can't stand. It is Dalia Ramirez. She's a congresswoman from Illinois. She is an illegal alien from Guatemala, self-proclaimed illegal alien. She was one of the grotesque Democrats that slandered me when I testified in front of Congress. She sat there for over 3-4 of her 5 minutes just calling me every vile name, and I had to sit there and take it. And then I heard her utter, or actually make the statement, that she crossed the border illegally with her mother from Guatemala when her mother was carrying her in her stomach, pregnant, with little baby, or I'll use the term that Democrats use, the little fetus, Dalia, whatever the hell her name is. We have an illegal alien in our Congress making laws that are detrimental to the United States of America. And what did Miss Ramirez do in Mexico City this week in a conference for whatever the hell the conference is? And she makes a statement in Spanish that she is a proud Guatemalan before she's a proud American. Does anyone out there, anyone, see a problem with this? Let's listen to somebody that I question his allegiance to as well. But he lays it out. He's a very intelligent man, someone that I won't deny his intellect because it is off the chart. But I will question his allegiance sometimes to America. Let's listen to someone that I question someone else. Play this, please.
Representative Delia Ramirez, she declared in Spanish that she is a proud Guatemalan before I'm an American. I I checked this about 5 different times in 5 different ways to ensure that I'm not mistranslating what she said, but this has now been widely reported. Nobody is suggesting that if you are an immigrant to this country or your parents are from another country, if you're Italian or your parents are Italian, that you can't have pride in your Italian heritage. But to say that you're Italian more than you are American, or prouder to be Italian than American while living in America, is a wild statement. And again, goes to a deeper problem inside the Democratic Party, which suggests that they are, in fact, not America first. They are, in fact, America last. Why would you be prouder to be a Guatemalan than an American? Like, why? Just on a raw level.
Why? I'm going to tell you why. Because she's not an American. You could play this birthright citizen crap. You could do all this stuff. You could try to convince me all you want. I'm an expert on all of this. In fact, I hope Donald Trump calls me and says, I want you to go in front of the Supreme Court and argue for our behalf because you are an expert. You went through the Immigration Nationality Act and had to pass the test in order to get a gun and a badge. And then you did this law for 24 years. You enforced this law for 24 years. So you're a little smarter than a lot of these stupid ass lawyers that we have going up in front of Congress, in front of the Supreme Court. So why don't you, JJ, why don't you go up there and tell it? Because it's really quite simple. It's a very simple. The Immigration Nationality Act says, and the 14th Amendment says, that guess what? You have to be born on soil with a few caveats in the military, and you have to be the subject under the jurisdiction thereof. So when the fetus, Delia, crossed the border in her mother's stomach, she was under the jurisdiction of Guatemala. Thus, she is a Guatemalan citizen. Thus, that's why she has the Guatemalan allegiance. This isn't rocket science. I'm not trying to cure cancer here. I'm not trying to send people into the moon and Mars through the Van Allen radiant belt instead of burning up. I'm not coming up with that. I'm not trying to get rockets to fly back down and land. No. I'm just trying to tell you what the Immigration Nationality Act says and the law that governs our immigration. That woman, Delia Ramirez, the person that has family that's illegal aliens, that's married to an illegal alien, and is thus an illegal alien, if I had arrest authority, I would arrest that fat Guatemalan woman and throw her fat ass back into Guatemala. Thomas, can you please pull up this X post? Because this is what America Last looks like. That is Delia Ramirez, as she says, quote, I am a proud Guatemalan before I am an American. Thank you, you pig. Talking about another swine, there is Ilhan Omar, who likes to marry her brother, as she says, quote, sleep in comfort knowing that I am here to protect the interest of Somalia from inside the U.S. system. Why are they not expelled? Going on, Omar, please play this video as she speaks in that gutter dialect to her other Somalian nationals, talking about how great Somalia is and how she is protecting and benefiting all of her decisions to benefit Somalia. Play that video for me, please.
dad badan ay soo wacay oo waxay leeyihiin ilhaan dawladda Mareykanka inaan la hadashid waaye dawladda Mareykanka maxay ka qabanaysaa jawaabteedu waxay ahayd dawladda Mareykanka waxay ka qabanaysaa wixii annaga aan dhahno dawladda Mareykanka qabo waa kalsoonidaas inaan isku qabno annaga Soomaali hadii aan nahay wadankan annaga ku nool wadankan wadankii aan annaga tax ka dhiibno waaye waa wadankii gabar idinka dhalatayne ee Congress-ka fadhiso intii aniga aan Congress joogo wadanka Soomaaliya biyaheeda dad kaleeta iyo badeeda dad kale ma qaadanayaan wadanka Mareykankana kuma taageerayo dad kaleeta in annaga ayna dhacaan marka taas ka seexda reer Minnesota gabadhii Congress-a u dirsateen way idinka war haysaa sidaad idinka u dareemaysiin dantaas ay u dareemeen madaxweyne Xasan Sheekhna.
Dear God, if that doesn't just piss you off, I got to listen to that gutter dialect, that gutter language tell me that we have to protect Somalia, that everything that we do is to protect Somalia, that I have a congresswoman that's not focused on my roads, my bridges, my infrastructure, my taxes, my well-being, but she's sitting there conspiring with other anti-American, America last politicians to better Somalia? What do we in America have to do or have any commonality with Somalians? The answer is nothing. And yet we brought them all into our country. And then I got that woman speaking in that language. Why don't you speak English, sweetheart? We're in America. Or you can go back, take your little skinny butt back to Somalia, and you can make $28 a month there. Picture is worth 1,000 words. Can you please pull this? And I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it from my phone. Okay? This is what everyone that comes into America has to swear an oath to. I'm going to read it because it's important that I read it. Then I want you to think of the fat Dahlia and the very skinny Omar. And they're just representative of other first generation illegal aliens in our country. Legal immigrants in our country that have positions of authority and power, that have no allegiance to America. But this is what they had to swear to. This is what they had to swear to when they became a citizen. You ready? I'm going to read it. I hereby declare an oath that I absolutely, entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, pontiff, state, sovereignty, of whom or which I have thereto been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and that I will bear arms on benefit of the United States when required by law, that I will perform non-combative service in the armed forces of the United States of America when required by law, and that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by the law, and that I will take this obligation freely without mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. And yet I have to listen to a grotesque woman talk about her allegiance to Guatemala, and to another disgusting individual that marries her brother talk about the interest of Somalia. 99.99% of Americans could not pick out Somalia on the map if I gave them 20 chances. Have you had it, America? Are you pissed off enough, America? Are you? Are you pissed off enough? Before I bring in, let me calm down before I bring in Chris. Pet Club 24/7. You want to talk about how you have all these metals digested in your system. You have all these pesticides. You have blue rain falling down. You have our crops destroyed and have poison in them. How do you get that out of your system? How do you get the remdesivir that I've had in my system? Well, how do you get it out? You go to Pet Club 24/7, Pet Club 24/7 or Truth with JJ 247, and they have a proprietary mushroom that they've extracted all of the natural ingredients out of that mushroom, put it in a capsule form, put it in a balm, a lotion, put it in pet treats for your pets. And it increases your immune system. It gets your immune system functioning at all levels, firing all pistons, and it begins to remove the toxins out of your life. I take it every single day. This is how you take your power back. This is how you must be healthy. You must be clean body running at optimum speed. And because we are in a war, we're in a war for the soul of the United States of America. That's absolutely the truth. Go to Truth with JJ Carrell 247. Truth with JJ Carrell 247. Great company. A husband and wife, Christians, believe that God gave us everything we need to be healthy and successful on earth. That God has natural order, that God gave us everything. We don't need anything from Moderna or Pfizer. We have everything right here. I believe that. Truthwithjj247.com. All right, I'm calmed down just a little bit. Chris, how are you doing? From Sat123, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing good, mate. I'm glad I got to watch that part of your show because I had a couple of comments. You have some great sponsors, by the way. When it comes to metal in foods and makeup and lotions and so on, I had mercury fillings when I was a kid, and I swallowed them, and I'm fine. So I'm not sure about that one.
You're not fine. You're the poster child for you need to go to Pet Club. You need to go to Patriots Made. Here's an example. This is Chris with mercury in his body. You don't want to be like Chris.
Don't be like me. Yeah. And God sure enough didn't send us pesticides, JJ. That's for sure.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
Don't even get me started on that. But look,
and you know what? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, just talking about Somalia, I would think a U.S. Congresswoman would be more interested in the Somali pirates attacking U.S. ships than anything else. That we should be. Look, I came to the United States. I became a citizen. I took that oath and I take it seriously. I appreciate this country, letting me be here and become a citizen. And, that was my choice. And so I'm a guest. I'm a citizen, but I consider myself a guest. And I appreciate this country, and I would always stand up for it no matter what. It's really kind of shocking to hear a congresswoman, elected official like that, talking about her allegiance being to a completely different country. I don't care what country it is, U.S. citizen, particularly a congresswoman or congressman, anyone who is elected here should be putting the interest of the American people first, last, and foremost.
Well, you know what? I thank you for saying that, Chris, because this is what. And people don't realize this. This is what's the most shocking. Do you know who the people that are the most angry when they hear this, when they hear people talk like this, are naturalized U.S. citizens? Because they have been on the other side. They understand the freedoms. Even though you come from the UK, you have freedom of speech here. UK, you don't have freedom of speech. They're arresting people for memes on Facebook. So people that come here realize the greatness of America. And when they swear that oath, they take it very personal. Like this is it's when you think, well, you swore an oath in front with another 1,000 people. No. I talk to naturalized citizens. They go, no. It was as if I'm by myself. This was a direct oath to America, to me. I'm connected now. I'm part of this. It's more powerful. Do you agree with that, of what I've acknowledged in my career dealing with naturalized citizens?
I 100% agree with you, and because we have to take the citizenship test, it turns out I know more about American history than my wife, who's very educated, but, it's really intense and it covers a lot of what goes on here. And look, in high school, I took American government and politics as one of my classes because this country has always fascinated me. And I tell you what, England is a relatively free country, but being an entrepreneur in England when I was growing up was a dirty word. And so I didn't want to go to college. I wanted to get out there and try and make something of myself. And America was like really was a beacon for that. And I visited this country as a kid, often with my parents. And I really appreciated the fact that here you can start with nothing and you can make something of yourself, no matter what. And that is not true, JJ, in most of the rest of the world, if any of the rest of the world.
No, that's what made America great is you could be anything. We do have a class system and it's causing problems. However, when you come into America, you come in penniless. If you're willing to work and you're willing to develop your talents, you can be anything you want. You can achieve anything, any kind of financial success, wealth, anything that you want, you can become. That was the American dream. Do I think that it has been diminished? Yes, I do. I believe that it's been tarnished, but we're trying to get back to it. But outside of America, and if America burns, there's nowhere to go, man. There's nowhere else to go. This is it, and this is why I think it needs to be cherished more. It needs to be protected more, and I think that we're a little bit flippant. It's like you get married to this beautiful, beautiful woman, and she's incredible, and she's kind, and she's nice, and she's attentive to you, and you begin to take advantage of her. You begin to be like, she'll always be there. That's not how it works. That's not how the world works. So I appreciate you saying that as a naturalized citizen. And I find naturalized citizens to be the same type of fervor that you get when you get converts to Christianity, where they learn about Christianity at an adult level, where you just kind of were brought along through adolescence, and they have a deeper understanding. And I think people that come here and naturalize have a deeper understanding and appreciation of our citizenship and the privileges that America gives. I just feel that way.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you, mate. I really do. And, since I've been here, I've done many different things, but this country affords you the opportunity to do many different things. And then some being successful, some not. But, it's having the ability to have the opportunity and just to take it and to see what happens. And, this society, people welcome all comers. If you have a smart idea, you'll find someone to back it with money, or people will buy it. You'll get it out there. That sounds like, well, yeah, of course. But look, it is not like that in most of the rest of the world. Again, entrepreneurs were people who were losers when I was growing up in England. You're only an entrepreneur because you're too stupid to get a job, at a real business. And Richard Branson was someone I looked up to, but he was one of the few, so Richard Branson, who, started so many companies and has been so successful and such a nice guy and so generous. But, there weren't many others here in the US. There's so many to look up to, but not a lot of role models in England when I was growing up. So, I always looked to the US, and when I visited here, I, just realized more and more that I wanted to, to move here and be a part of this great country.
Well, that dovetails perfect into the company you work for now, sat123.com. And I want to just reference an article before I turn it over to you and make the pitch for the sponsor that I have, sat123.com/JJ. And we talked about this article offline, and it's the biggest threat to America is China having the ability to do a tech kill switch. And by Arnie Bellini. He's a co-founder and CEO of ConnectWise. I'm going to read this quote to you and just get your take. And he's talking about the danger of incorporating Chinese technology into essential infrastructure in the U.S. And he says, quote, "Iran is a great warm-up for what we will face from China. It's the fact that we've been buying equipment from China. We're already putting it into our infrastructure, which already has the capability to, quote, call back to Beijing, flip the switch, turn it off, and we're putting it in our water supply systems and our electrical systems," end quote. What's your take on that?
Well, yeah, look, JJ, I'm glad to see this story making headlines, because I've been talking about this for several years. Ever since I found out about what the Chinese were doing with the communications companies and with some of the technology they were putting, like pre-installing and then selling to the US. It's very scary. But look, yeah, they're putting in software and malicious code into all kinds of things, power converters that we need to convert AC to DC power. These are in relay stations. These are in solar panel farms. They're everywhere. And if you control the power converter, you control the whole thing. But it's not just there. It's the cranes that lift containers off ships. We've had to send so many of those back to China because they can be controlled from the US. The Chinese can literally turn on cameras and see what's going on. They can track cargo, all kinds of terrible things. Police dogs, these robot dogs that you're starting to see on the streets of the United States now. Some of those have been found to have Chinese backdoors in the malicious codes. So the Chinese government, the CCP, can literally take over police dogs. From Beijing. And look, in China, there may be, some what look like private companies, but make no mistake, if they're a private company and they're in technology, they're a government company. They were either founded by the government's in there, and if the CCP has a need for information or data from that company's products, they're going to get it. Many people know about the DJI drones, and the US has restricted some of those, I believe, but that's just the beginning. This runs deep. And if we don't start paying attention to this real quick, we're giving away the farm. And, I do absolutely agree that, I believe in free trade, but free trade means fair trade, but when it comes to sensitive technology, we do not want to be buying sensitive, vital technology that runs this country from another country, any other country, let alone China.
I agree, Chris. I want everyone to go to sat123.com/JJ. Has all the products you need to be prepared: sat phones, Starlink, generators, Faraday backs. My son's going to school with a ballistic backpack. And that's a great way to end our show, Chris, and go into the weekend. Thank you, mate. I appreciate you being there, and I appreciate you being a proud American. Thank you very much, and have a great weekend.
It was a pleasure. Thanks, JJ.
Take care and have a great weekend, and we will see you back on Monday. Only God knows what's going to happen in the next couple days. Take care.
All right, welcome to Code Blue. It is August 8th, 2025. So honored to be here with you today. We have some breaking news here with Kennedy. He has come out this week. And Brooke, you want to talk a little bit about what Kennedy has said in this video presentation he's come out with?
Well, yes, for years now, it seems that our public organizations like the NIA